Week 3 begins, and our first matchup is the 98 Falcons against the surprising winless Patriots. They get an early touchdown, 10-7. Then Brady to Gaffney, and look at him go, touchdown. Now Patriots up 14-10 before Chandler fire a touchdown, and Brady, like all year, would be picked. This time Tuggle to the end zone, final 24-14. 96 Packers and the 99 Rams. Fourth quarter with the Rams up by 6 and a defensive slugfest far to the end zone. Touchdown Packers. And then with Warner, a chance to tie the game would be picked and be returned all the way for a touchdown. Hayes making the final 21-6. Green Bay now 2-1. Winless Chiefs against the 500 Philadelphia Eagles. Len Dawson to make the score 21-17. But then Westbrook and the Eagles would get on a roll. Touchdown followed by a 4th and 10. Len Dawson picked by Brian Dawkins, and he'd take it to the house. 40 yards for the Philly touchdown, and the Eagles are now 2-1. Kansas City is number 10 in the NFL in offense and without a win. 89 Niners and the 09 Vikings. It would be the Jerry Rice show today, as it'd be 3 touchdowns on the afternoon. Rice just beasting up the Vikings secondary. This touchdown would put the Niners up 17-7 late in the third quarter, and then he'd close it out with a third straight touchdown. Montana rolling right, throwing to his big play man. Final 27-7, Rice 7 catches, 144 yards. I call the 99 Titans my number 2 best team in the NFL, and I might have to change that. After Don Maynard would make it 7-all, it would be all Titans. Steve McNair throwing to Isaac Bird to make it 17-7, and then Frank Wycheck getting in the action 24-7 at halftime. Your final 38-7. 09 Colts and the 08 Cardinals, an offensive slugfest. Manning throwing to Joseph Adai to make it 10-0. Then after a 17-0 start, Bolden would make it an early touchdown, and then Fitzgerald making it interesting, but in the very end, the Colts dominating 31-14 over the Cards. A surprising battle of winless teams, as both are 0-2 entering this contest, as Boomer Esiason would get things started with a 7-0 score, but the Steelers would reply. Benny Gunningham with a huge play after breaking 2 Bengals defenders' tackles, getting his team inside the 10. Terry Bradshaw getting into a rhythm, and then he would fire a dart to his big playman Theo Bell to tie things up early in the second quarter. But as the third quarter got started, after Rocky Blyer, the backup, would score, it would be Bengals for the most part. James Brooks breaking Steelers defenders for a icky shuffle celebration in the end zone. 14-all, and then Terry Bradshaw in the fourth quarter would fail to get the first by a yard. John Stallworth on the reception. And then the Bengals replying off of that 3-and-out. Eddie Brown catching. Did he get the first down? Yes, he did. Barely. And then Esiason on the next third down and long, going deep for his big play man, Tim McGeaney, caught it for the touchdown. Now the Bengals are up 21-14 on third down and 10. Passes incomplete, bringing up a 4th down. Steelers looking to go 1-2 on the season. Bradshaw throwing. John Stallworth near the first down, looking for it, and it would come down to the chains. And nail-biter. Did he get the first? The measurement? He's sure. This has been the story for the Pittsburgh Steelers all season long. Terry Bradshaw throwing to John Stallworth just a little bit short. Steelers could easily be 3-0, but they're 0-3. The Bears had a key Week 2 win over the Steelers in overtime. Can they continue that attack early on? No, they couldn't. Peter work for the early touchdown, and then Sean Alexander breaking tackles, making it 14-0 on the 43-yard touchdown run. But the Bears would wake up in the second quarter. Jim McMahon to get things interesting, 10-7. Walter Payton in the end zone, and then in the fourth quarter, Sean Alexander on the toss. He would fumble the football. Richard Dent on the recovery, and look what he's going to do with it. It's a house call, people. Touchdown Bears. They are now leading. But the Seahawks would reply yet again. Sean Alexander, another touchdown. Then following a Chicago 3-and-out, ball on the 10-yard line, handoff to Sean Alexander. He gets the first down, and look what he's doing with it. Can he score across midfield to the 40, to the 30? Bears defenders chasing him down. 15, 10, 5. Oh my gosh, I'm so surprised.
I was frozen today.
Seahawks get their first win. 1-1 Saints against the 2-0 Bills in what seemed to be a huge mismatch. On the first play, Pierre Thomas making things interesting, a long 71-yard touchdown. Jim Kelly struggled a lot on the day. It would be a pick, almost 6, by Darren Sharper as he get inside the 20, 15, 10, all the way to the 5-yard line. And then Breeze would take advantage. Devery Henderson in the end zone, 24-0 at halftime. But the owners of the biggest comeback in NFL history would respond. An onside kick by Scott Norwood would be recovered by Robert Meacham, but he would fumble the football. It would be recovered by Al Edwards, and he'd take it all the way into Saints territory. Bills in desperate comeback mode as he'd hit Andre Reed, Jim Kelly, and he'd get inside the 35-yard line, and then on 4th down in the red zone, Jim Kelly looking deep for his big play man Reed. It would be incomplete, ending the football game. Final 31-13. Saints win in impressive fashion over the Bills, who are now 2-1. Undefeated football teams battling it out in Oakland. An early John Elway interception, and it would be Neil Calsey who would take advantage. Pick 6, 7-3 Raiders. But John Elway would finally respond in the red zone, hitting his big play man for the touchdown. And the Broncos up now 10-7. But it would be all Raiders after that. Ken Stabler to Clarence Davis for the touchdown. Then Mark Van Egan for the Raiders touchdown to end the Raiders domination. Right after, it'd be Elway with his second pick 6 of the afternoon. Jack Tatum taking it the distance. Final 28-10 Raiders. Oakland looking very impressive after the big Week 3 win, 28-10, and are now 2-1. Sorry we had a game that glitched, and it would be a 13-16 win. 86 Giants and the 0-2 Buccaneers in a defensive slugfest. Phil Simms rolling out. He'd throw it to Shelton Quarles of the wrong team, and he'll take it the distance. 10-0 Buccaneers, but the Giants would respond. It'd be Morris off the left side for the touchdown, but Michael Pittman. Now the score 24-10 Bucks, and Phil Simms would get things going. It'd be Mawat for the touchdown to make it a one-possession game. Now the Giants are in need of an onside kick. Can they get it? The kick will be recovered by Keenan McCardell to make the score 24-17. Can the Bucks run out the clock? No, they can't. Michael Pittman fumbling the ball, and it would be Rocky Bernard on the return. And the Giants have a chance to tie this game. Phil Simms throwing, he'd be picked. Rondé Barber to close out the game. Final 24-17. Browns looked flat all afternoon against the 2000 Ravens. Trent Dilfer handing off to backup Priest Holmes, who would battle his way 13 yards for the Ravens touchdown. And then on 4th and 1, down by 9, they'd hand off to Biner, and he would be stuffed. Final 23-14 Ravens, who are now 3-0. 72 Dolphins and the 81 Chargers in the Madden matchup. Game of the week. Dan Fouts throwing, and it would be picked, and Johnson would take it all the way for the Dolphins touchdown, 14-3, but the Chargers would respond. Dwight Scales with a huge play for the Chargers touchdown. Then Chuck Muncie trying to get the Chargers on the comeback. He'll get it all the way for the touchdown. Now Chargers are up 17-14, but before the defense could blink, it would be a huge play by Paul Warfield. Then Dan Fouts would have to reply yet again. But was Chandler getting things going? Can Dan Fouts get the Chargers comeback going? Deep play for Wes Chandler. Touchdown Chargers to tie it up in overtime. The Dolphins, can they get things going offensively? No, they can't. But Dan Fouts can. It would be Wes Chandler on a huge day, getting his team in field goal range. The kick is on the way by Bernushka, and it is good. The Chargers win the game of the week.